presents Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast with your host, Bob Katie and Jay Schmidt.
Welcome to Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast.
Welcome.
Championship edition.
Yes.
Ooh, look at that. Woo-hoo. Championship edition. We're special.
We are special.
Championship edition.
Yes.
Fortunately, Jay's a little bit down in the dumps.
Yes. Sad.
I'm going to put my nutsack on your drum set.
John put his nutsack on Jay's drum set.
Yeah.
He's sad.
I'm sad.
So we'll wrap up the divisional weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with the Chiefs 20, Patriots 27. Really wasn't much of a game. Patriots kind of had control most of the way.
Yeah.
Damn Patriots. Hate when
Yep.
I'm right.
Yeah. Kansas City made a game of it at the end there, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you just feel like the Patriots' panic mode hadn't kicked in yet. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, it's as good as Alex Smith has been all season long on this streak. You tend to look at a game like that and go, well, there's his shortcomings. You know what I mean? So, yeah, damn Patriots. I'm tired of them.
me too.
I'm tired of them. There's not much else to say in that game.
No.
You know, Gronk did what Gronk does. Edelman did what Edelman does.
Yeah.
First down.
Yeah.
Somebody you would think would figure this out by now. I mean, is it that hard? If you take away Edelman and Gronk, he has nothing.
Right.
I mean, he showed that in the last couple of
Yeah.
weeks of the season.
Yep.
He's got nothing. But yet, still, we can't get rid of those players and have them still.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I would just be incensed as a defensive coordinator. Be like, just kill those two, and
Yep.
you know. But you know what? It'll be fun doing a podcast when Brady and Belichick are gone and the Patriots are down on their ass. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Packers 20, Cardinals 26. Oh, what a game this was!
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen quite a game like that. That was just insanity. Number one, I guess you got to start off with. Where do you start off with? The Cardinals. Number one, the Cardinals didn't play very well. I don't think at all.
No.
That looked like the Raiders' version of Carson Palmer.
Yeah.
Than what he's been doing all season. But then to try to throw that ball to Larry Fitzgerald instead of burn the clock, they would have never gotten to the Hail Mary attempt.
Right.
Because they would have been way too far away for even Rodgers to throw it. So, first off, you take that right there. I mean, yeah, there is that thought of, oh, I agree with it. It to attack. You know what I mean? Because it seems like nowadays anybody can come back on anybody. It seems like teams in the second half just go, we're going to hold on. You know what I mean? Instead of playing lights out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that, so I am 50-50 about it. I like the call, but I just don't think that is the correct spot to be that ballsy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it's a regular season game, I feel like that's a good way to do that. But in the playoffs, man, play like that almost costs them the game. Then you get to Rodgers. Just number one, I've never seen a defense that bad and letting a team just march down the field on them. I mean, I noticed they were rushing. They were trying to literally rush the passer instead of doing what we've all seen, where everybody drops. They drop like 8 guys, and they got 3 guys rushing, or even 2 guys rushing. I've seen, but obviously they decided to go after one of the most mobile, accurate throwing quarterbacks on the run.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that head scratcher. And then just, it was just head scratching. And then, of course, How do you let 2 Hail Marys in one season?
Mm.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like the Cardinals just wanted to lose that game up until overtime. Which, again, is it so many years that we can't do a proper coin flip? Well, I guess it didn't flip, so it wasn't a coin flip. It was just blah. And the Packers were all out. The top 4 wide receivers were hurt.
Mm.
I mean, talk about another team that was just hanging on by a thread, too.
Yep.
You know, with injuries and stuff. And
Yeah, they were pretty devastated this year.
yeah, and the old man Larry Fitzgerald gets the job done in overtime. So that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That was just absolutely crazy. Crazy game. And they've all been kind of, you know, some of them have all been kind of crazy at the end. Seahawks 24, Panthers 31.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panthers really weren't in that much danger. Even at the end, I mean, they really weren't in that much danger. I didn't think anyway. Seahawks just, to come back from that, you know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't out of the question. That Carolina's second half defense wasn't very, pretty non-existent.
It's interesting to watch how Seattle went from play defense, run the ball, a couple big plays by Russell Wilson, which they won their Super Bowl with and went to a Super Bowl last year, to the second half of the season this year to big play passing offense.
Mm. Yeah,
They got a bunch of good wide receivers there, too.
they do.
You know, they get Jimmy Graham healthy. They could actually learn how to use him.
Yeah.
They could. Marshawn Lynch is expendable now up there.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be there.
Nah. Yeah, I don't think so.
He's going to be gone.
Yeah.
And
Well, he mulled retirement last year, didn't he, too? So
yeah,
I think he's probably.
Well, I just don't think he's going to be with Seattle.
Yeah.
At least not that. He's just a weird duck.
Mm.
He's a weird dude. Really weird dude. And then you got the Panthers defense in the second half was kind of non-existent after being really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what switch these defensive coordinators flick, but the first half, Seattle couldn't do anything. And then the second half, they were running over them.
Right.
And I mean, I know there's second half or halftime adjustments, but give me a break.
Mm. Yeah, that was I don't know.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And then their offense, they just went into a shell and decided not to do anything.
Right.
You know, and almost, you know, I mean.
Seattle played pretty decent defense though in that second half too. So
Yeah, they did. They did. Well,
was-
I mean, but Carolina wasn't trying to do anything.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I know, don't do the big play because it might bite you in the ass with an interception or a turnover.
Mhm.
But if you don't do the big play and the defense feels you're not going to do the big play, that's when they'll just clamp down on you. And that's what happens with these teams that decide not to do anything.
Yep.
You know, it was nice seeing Seattle try to make the comeback. That made it at least interesting in this blowout. But I mean, that got out of hand real fast for Seattle. You could tell at the end of the first half, it was like, what?
I didn't. Yeah. I didn't come in to watch it till actually the third quarter. So
No, I watched all of that one. The Packers Cardinals, I only watched a portion of. I watched almost all the Steelers Broncos. I watched almost all the games this week. Packers and Cardinals, I got the least amount of, except for when it counted at the end. And then we go to Steelers 16, Broncos 23.
yep.
And the Steelers pretty much had control of that game the whole
did.
time.
They did. They went up there and played some good defense. They played hell of a good offense for missing some key parts, and but it just bit them in the end. I mean, having your fourth and fifth string running backs out there. I was waiting for one of them to fumble, and I was actually waiting the week before for one of them to fumble, and it happened this week. And
At the wrong
it's
time.
sad because if the guy just got down, it probably would have been a first down there, and they were on the 30-yard line pretty much. So they would have at least had a field goal in the was like 8 minutes, I think, left, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the fourth, and I don't know. But
I mean, look how
that's what
close that
happens.
game
Turnover,
was.
Turnover kills you. I mean, that's
Look how close that game was, and Pittsburgh's missing its top 2 rushers, its top wide receiver. I mean, your center.
Their center, our Pro Bowl center, Pro Bowl guard.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, Steelers.
For what they had this year in the hardest schedule in the league, 10-6, I'm happy to where they made it.
Mhm.
Everybody was picking Denver there anyway, so they went in as a big underdog, and
I was picking Denver until
they
Jay
fought
changed
hard.
my mind.
Yeah, it's my fault. I would have had a
That's okay.
perfect week, but
That's okay.
yeah, they should have had it. But you got to play mistake-free football, and they didn't. So that's what happens.
It's more you got to
It
pay.
just stings.
It's more when the mistake happened.
Yeah.
I think more than anything.
Yeah,
It came right at
Oh,
a
yeah.
point when you can't.
yep.
It made it time made it impossible to
Mm-hmm.
correct that mistake,
Yeah.
and that's what. The Broncos saw the mistake and took advantage of it at
Yep.
the right time.
Yep. So
I mean,
that's
that's
playoff football.
yeah, it is.
So-
They've been such good games this
Yeah.
year. Playoffs.
Yeah, they have been pretty good.
Love playoff.
Well,
football.
yeah, last weekend there were a lot of good games there. So.
I'm hoping to forget some good ones this weekend too. Hopefully, hopefully we'll get there and get some good ones this
Yeah.
weekend. We got to do some review after next week, don't we?
Mm.
Because my picks are all out of it for the Super Bowl. That's
I think mine are too.
yeah, minor bupkis.
I don't even remember, so I gotta.
Mine
I'll
was
have to
Colts
go back and
Seahawks.
review. I think I had Colts and Green Bay, maybe.
Mine was Colts Seahawks.
I don't remember.
And do I even
I have
have?
a different notebook, so I don't have it in there.
Oh, actually, all of my playoff teams at least are still in the playoffs. I had the Patriots in Denver, and I had the Cardinals and Carolina all in the playoffs. So at least I got that, I guess. On that, oh well, can't pick them every year. And all right, we'll be back to do our championship picks.
Listen to Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast every Wednesday wherever you find Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour. Get a hold of us at Bob and Jay's Pass Rush at gmail.com and at Pass Rush Podcast on Twitter. Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast.
And on our Facebook page at Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Bob and John Super Duper Variety Power Hour.
You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. Our championship picks for this week, of course, we have the Patriots at the Broncos.
Yes, I'm going with New England.
I'm going New England too. I don't believe it until I see the corpse. Till I see
I'm on your bandwagon now with that.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't. You know.
And I don't think I really truly don't think Denver has the machismo to win it. To be honest with you, they have a good defense, but I just don't see it. So, unfortunately, but the way my picks have been going, everything should be opposite.
But the Tom Brady does have like a 2-8 or something a record in Denver.
In Denver, yeah.
So that's I guess that's a positive.
Yep.
I just don't want to see the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Me either.
Oh, I'm done with the Patriots. I'm ready for a new dynasty.
Yeah.
Even if it's not my team, I'm just ready for a new one to hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I never hated the 49ers. A lot of people hated that.
No, I never hate them.
Obviously I was a Steelers. I was still a Bills fan in the 70s, but I was kind of I was a pseudo Steelers because everything was Steelers back in
Yeah.
the 70s. It was either Steelers or Cowboys, and believe me,
Yeah.
I wasn't a Cowboys fan. So, and we have some Pennsylvania roots, so I was a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
The only dynasties that made me barf was America's team, and now the Patriots. They're right up there with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
They're a little, blech. I guess I learned a hatred for the Dolphins over the years, seeing that they whooped the Bills' ass like for a decade, literally for a decade, swept us for a decade until somewhere in the 80s.
Yep.
Or early 80s, and then again later in the late 80s when we kind of owned the 90s on them. Going Patriots. I've drank that Kool-Aid one too many times where I've said, this is when we, until I see him dead. The second game is the Cardinals, and I spelled it right, Panthers. And the Panthers.
Yeah. My heart is with Arizona, but I just gonna go Carolina. I want to see Arizona go, but I'm gonna go Carolina.
To be honest with you, I could care less.
Yeah.
I could care. You know what? My thought is, who's better suited in case the Patriots get to the Super Bowl to beat them?
Yeah. I like Bruce Arians and
I like Bruce Arians. I like
pretty-
Rivera too. I like both of them.
but I'm going with Carolina.
Cam had such a great season. I mean, off the chain season. But then again, I'm always an underdog kind of guy. I'd like to see the old man there, Fitzgerald, get a ring before he has to call, because he's, from year to year, he could be his last one. I'm going to pick the Panthers, but that doesn't mean I will not be, surprised if the Cardinals win. I think this is the match in the NFC everybody was waiting for. Since probably midway through the season.
Yep.
Everybody was shaping up to this, and I think everybody was really looking forward to that. And
should be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I think both games should be pretty good.
Yep.
I think both games should be on target to be really good. The Broncos might. It's funny because this is probably the first Peyton Manning-led team against the Patriots where he's not the number one option in the offense.
Yeah.
He
shouldn't be.
No.
He is definitely not, doesn't have the arm he did have. His passes are slow and they hang, and that's why I think he's actually going to be a detriment, to be honest, in this game. So
listen, if they get to halftime and he's starting to look at the cause of the problems, I wouldn't be surprised if they put in Osweiler, who beat the Patriots earlier this season. Was that in New England or was that in Denver? I think it was in Denver. Yeah, it was in Denver.
Okay.
I'm pretty positive. I feel pretty safe to say, although everybody could call up and tell us it's not, but
it was at Denver.
Yep.
Week 12.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they had Gronk at that time or Edelman.
Gronk was injured. I have that in my notes.
Okay. So you're missing a couple of things, but you gotta hope a defense like that can take care of just do something to the Brendan Marshall, not the wide receiver, the Broncos linebacker. They asked him why Gronkowski gets open all the time, and he said because he pushes off. Truth hurts, doesn't it?
Patriots are cheating. That's a surprise.
Yeah. Gee, how does Edelman get free all the time? Pick. The illegal pick. Yep. They perfected that.
It's a rub.
Oh, I'm sorry. The legal term is rub, and rubbing is racing, right? Rub. Well, I guess we're going to have a shorty this week because there was only 2 games.
Yeah.
And like I said, we're going to get in. We're going to
do that other thing.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Thank you, Jay. We had a top 10 we were going to be to do. All right. We put together, and since I'm a Bills fan and Jay's a Steelers fan, we're going to do a top 10 Bills playoffs games and Steelers playoff games,
excluding Super Bowls. Right?
Excluding Super Bowls, because that could fill up all of Jay's, like 6 of Jay's.
Yeah, that was
Although I'm sure the first one with Ben might go way down because that wasn't exactly the most. that was probably the least of the Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
What's your number 10?
My number 10 is from January 5th, 2003, a wild card game. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yep. Pittsburgh 36, Cleveland 33. It was Tommy Maddox at quarterback. He had 3 TDs in the final 19 minutes.
There was a lot
To
of
come
passing
back-
yards, wasn't
To
there?
come back, yeah.
On both
did I write it
sides, I
down?
think.
I didn't write down his passing yards, but he it was a comeback for the Steelers, and it was the Cleveland Browns' first playoff appearance since they came back in the league in 1999, and they have not been to the playoffs since after they lost that.
Oh, so they have
that was-
one
that
more
was
than
it.
Buffalo has.
That was yeah, that was my number 10.
My number 10 is very painful. Music City Miracle.
Ouch.
Yeah, ouch is right.
Yeah.
That year, number one, why they put the village idiot Rob Johnson in after Doug Flutie got him that far still boggles my mind. I don't think it would have come down to that if Doug Flutie was or had started that game, and I think that team could have made a Super Bowl run that year. We had the number 1 defense in the league. We had a very good offense, and with Flutie as our quarterback. And I'm not as disappointed with the outcome of that game I was at the time, but looking back, I'm more disappointed that they didn't start Flutie and put their best chances at winning in the first place, because Rob Johnson was just deplorable. He was terrible. He always was. He was like he's the most mobile quarterback I ever saw stand like a statue too long. You know, me and Raj used to call him the village idiot. Because you're number 9?
My number 9 from January 14th, 1996, AFC Championship, Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 20, Indy 16.
Came down to the final play.
Came down to the final play, which the season before they lost to San Diego on
That's
pretty much
right,
the
yeah.
final play.
Yeah.
And that got Cowher to his first Super Bowl.
Harbaugh was
Jim
quarterback.
Harbaugh, yep.
Harbaugh.
The pass
Harbaugh.
was dropped in the end zone.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's my
Yeah, I
number
remember
9.
that one. Very memorable. My number 9 is in 91, the second year the Bills went to the Super Bowl, playing the Kansas City Chiefs in Buffalo. Buffalo had gotten beaten real bad on a Monday night earlier that season. I mean, we got just everything went bad, real bad, got trounced. And this was a nice, sweet little revenge game because we pretty much owned them that whole playoff game. Thurman ran. The big thing was the Chiefs had a Koye and Word, and they ran over our defense.
Yep.
The Bills' defense in that Monday night game. So the Bills' defense really shut them down, and then DeBerg was the quarterback, and I think we knocked him out of the game. Blew up his thumb or something like that. And I remember he had to come in with a splint or something on it, and he was trying to make it work, and it was terrible for them. Number 8?
My number 8 from January 22nd, 2006, Pittsburgh 34, Denver 17, the AFC Championship
In Denver, too, right?
in Denver. Yeah, that was the kind of miracle season they had there. But we'll talk about a little bit more. I got some more of those games on my list later.
What-
But Ben had 275 yards, 2 TDs.
Was that the first year that they went to Super Bowl, Ben?
This was
The second.
the first one.
First one, okay.
06.
Because wasn't that Plummer was the quarterback for the Broncos?
I'm not sure.
I want to say
Yeah.
it was. I think Plummer was the quarterback for the Broncos. I don't know who Pittsburgh. I can't remember who Pittsburgh did. Who did Pittsburgh play in there to go to their the second Super Bowl with men against Arizona? in the championship game. What was that championship game? Was that that wasn't the Patriots, was it? No, I don't think so.
No. I think that was Baltimore.
Was it?
I think so. I think that's one I have later in my list. Pretty sure.
Well, I'll go with number 8 while you're looking that up. My number 8 is Bills Steelers. Another Bills loss in '95. Bruce Smith had the flu and was hospitalized and didn't even get to play in the game. It was a good game, but Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh goes on. Yeah, Pittsburgh goes on to the Super Bowl that year. That was the year you guys met up with Dallas in the Super Bowl. Yes, it was. So I didn't look up scores, so sorry. Sorry on that. You're number 8? Or no,
7.
No, 7. Sorry.
I
can't count.
January 15th, 2011, divisional playoff, Pittsburgh 24, Pittsburgh 31. Steelers trailed 21-7 in the third quarter, and Ben made a comeback with touchdowns to Hines Ward and Antonio Brown, and went to win it.
Antonio Brown he had to be a rookie that year.
2011, I think that was his rookie year. Yeah. Yep.
Nice. Yep. My number 7 is the AFC Championship game in 1993. Bills and the Chiefs, Kansas City at Buffalo, when Buffalo took out Marcus Allen and Joe Montana to go to their 4th straight Super Bowl. Pretty much dominated that game. Smacked Joe around. I think we knocked Joe out in the second half, concussed him early in the second half. But I remember even at halftime, the Bills were very much in control of the game, and I just, you're playing Montana, so you got that feeling like, second half comeback, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Very worried. But no, they controlled that, went to knocked him out in the second, very quickly in the second half, and ended up going to their 4th straight Super Bowl. Your number 6?
My number 6, January 23rd, 2011, the Jets 19 at Pittsburgh 24, the AFC Championship.
There it is.
Yep. The Steelers jumped out to a 24-0 lead, and Jets actually came back a little bit, but that was their 3rd Super Bowl trip in 6 seasons.
Was that the one that played Green Bay?
2011, I
think
you
said there's...
That was their 3rd in 6 seasons.
Yeah,
so that would have been Green Bay.
That would have been Green Bay.
Yep.
That's the one I was missing. I knew I was trying to find the opponent in my head, and that was that one.
Yeah, and that was the Jets had done all kinds of talking before the
shock
before the game, and I kind of punched him in the mouth. So
sexy Rexy. Yes, he is my coach now. Maybe he'll finally make good on some of his talking. That was number 6 for you?
Yeah.
Number 7 was going down in 1992 as Buffalo at Miami AFC Championship game. Buffalo was a wild card that year. Miami had won the division, and Buffalo beat them in Miami. Jim Kelly had come back after being injured for 2 weeks, and they screened they did screens to Thurman Thomas all day long and just murdered the Dolphins, and really got to Marino. And it's always good to beat Miami in a championship game to go to their 3rd straight Super Bowl. Number 5.
My number 5 was just this year, January 9th, 2016. Pittsburgh 18 at Cincinnati 16.
Whenever Cincinnati's in there, he's going to be happy.
Wild card playoff. That was a good one. It was a good one.
I'd have more on my list if Buffalo would make it to a playoff game in the last 16 years.
I could thank Buffalo for getting us in there.
Yes. There you go. You're welcome. My number 5 is another Buffalo, Miami at Buffalo in 1990 in the divisional round, playoff round, and knocking Miami around on a nice snowy day in Buffalo to get to their first championship game since 1967. Their first AFC championship game since 1967. And it's like I said, it's always good to beat Miami in the playoffs. It's always a good thing. Make Danny cry. Number 4?
Number 4, January 18th, 2009. Baltimore 14, Pittsburgh 23. The Steelers swept Baltimore that year and went on to, I believe, the Super Bowl in that season. I'm not sure, though. Why didn't I write that? I don't know, but that was Ben's 7th playoff win in 5 seasons, and he passed Troy Aikman for the most playoff wins at that point.
Well, if you think about it, the Cowboys didn't have a lot of playoff wins because the Cowboys dynasty of the 90s was actually very short.
Yeah.
It was like, what was it? It was like 92 really to like 97.
Mm-hmm.
It was only like a 5-year shot.
Yeah.
I mean, if you compare it to the Steelers and the 49ers and the Patriots, it was not, or even the prior Cowboys of the 70s and into the 80s, it was a very short window that they were that they were, unstoppable.
Right. Yes, that was the AFC Championship that game.
Oh, so that was the Arizona.
Yeah, then
Super
that was
Bowl.
to take them to Arizona Super Bowl. Yep.
My number 4 is the Raiders at the Bills in 1992. Is that 92? No, I'm sorry, 93. I just remember it being bitter cold. It was one of the coldest games in Bills history.
Mm-hmm.
Haas Stedler was the Raiders quarterback.
Haas.
And Buffalo had control. Like, I think the kickoff or something like that, like the Raiders kicked off and kicked it right to like a weird the ball. When they kicked the ball was like so heavy it just kind of squibbled down the field, and Tasker picked it up and ran it for like 60 yards. He just because it literally just kind of leaped right in front of him. He wasn't back trying to. He was like on more of the front line, and he just grabbed it and returned it for 60 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Raiders just never recovered from that at all. We were up in Haas Stedler's face all day long. Number 3?
Number 3, January 15, 2006. Pittsburgh 21, Indianapolis 18.
Oh, that's the Bettis fumble game.
Yes, the number 6 seed, the first win on their way to that Super Bowl. Yep, Bettis fumbled in the last 2 minutes, and Ben made a saving tackle on the return.
Shoestring tackle.
Yeah. So, yep.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was my
I
number
remember
3.
that like it was yesterday.
Yep.
My number 3 is actually Buffalo at Pittsburgh in 1992
Wow.
with Frank Reich
Mm-hmm.
at the helm at quarterback the week after the big comeback game.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys had home field advantage that year.
Mm-hmm.
And we went in there and handled you pretty well, even with Frankie as our backup quarterback. Obviously, to move on to Miami the next week and finish them off in the AFC Championship game. Your number 2.
My number 2, January 8th, 2006. Pittsburgh 31, Cincinnati 17. Carson Palmer was then at quarterback for the Bengals.
The one he got
and
hurt
he
in.
was injured by Kimo von Oelhoffen on I think it was the first series. I don't know if it was the first play. And Ben got his first playoff win en route to that Super Bowl. So.
In Cincinnati, looked poised to beat you guys. They
Were
game.
heavily favored. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
Went downhill from that.
Yes.
Matter of fact, no. I think there was John Kitna that came in, wasn't it?
Kitna, yeah, it was Kitna. Yeah.
All right. I thought it was maybe it was.
And he actually led them. They were out to a lead, I think a 14 is something lead, but they lost.
They lost. My number 2 is the wild card greatest comeback in NFL history against the Houston Oilers.
Nice.
I mean, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Frank Reich. We were missing Frank Reich. Thurman left the game. Cornelius Bennett didn't play that game. I mean, talk about doing it with reserves. But the only starter we had was, Andre Reed for all those touchdowns.
Yep.
Amazing game. I mean, I talked to many people after that game. Tom Gray, I remember, sorry, dude. And I talked to him later that day, and I'm like, what, they won? He's like, what? I left after the first half. I stopped watching and went and he did something after the first half. He's like, no way. I'm like, yeah, they won. Yeah, that was crazy. Crazy game. Your number 1?
I'm sure you could probably guess what it is. There could be only one.
Let me think.
December 23rd, 1972. Oakland 7, Pittsburgh 13.
The Raiders.
Divisional playoff. The Immaculate Reception game, yes.
Yep.
How
course.
could I not? it was,
Thank you, Frankie
got
Fuqua.
the Steelers, that city, everything, you know what I mean?
That was huge.
That was that team's first playoff win, and
it was the start. It was
of
the
dynasty from there on out, and that whole city that just had a team that was crappy for so many years.
Franco's Italian
got
Army,
a huge playoff win, and that ignited the.
Wasn't that Franco? That was Franco. Was that Franco's rookie year, or was he rookie the year before or something? That was the big rookie year. That was the year definitely that Swan was a rookie and Lambert was a rookie. No, they weren't there though.
No, they
weren't there.
They didn't come yet.
That was 2 years later.
Yeah.
In 74.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
So
I think that was Franco's rookie year. If I'm
I think
correct.
it was. I think it was.
Yeah, because it all starts with when Joe Green was 68? Was he 68, 69? Bradshaw was 69. But I thought Joe Green preceded him by a year.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because really, Joe Green is the building block of everything on that. I mean, that's really the start of the foundation is Mean Joe. And then Bradshaw, and then the rest of it just came in big chunks after that. Well, was Stallworth a rookie in 74 also?
69 is when he came in Green.
So he must have come in the same year as Bradshaw then. But no, they were both number 1 picks. That wouldn't make sense. So I don't think Pittsburgh had 2 number 1 picks. I don't remember hearing them together in that.
Terry Bradshaw
Maybe he was 70.
was. Come on.
Wikipedia, you bastards. You're not helping.
1970.
Okay, so he was the following year.
Yep.
And then I think you got Franco in 72, and then I think it was Stallworth, Swan, and Lambert in 74. And obviously Rocky Blyer was in his late 60s. He was probably like 69 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those Steelers teams.
72 was
Franco.
Yeah. So yeah, that was his rookie year.
Franco's Italian Army.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's.
How could I not put that?
Yeah. And the number 1 for me is the Raiders and the Bills 1990. Actually happened in 91, 1990 season.
Mm-hmm.
AFC Championship game. Buffalo 51. Where's Jeff? Raiders 3. Oh yeah. I mean that was that was just a mass execution. That game.
That was ugly.
That was pedal to the metal.
51-3.
And I shut up all week, and Jeff talked shit all week to me, and I didn't say one word.
Yep.
And I still, how many years later, 20-some years later, every time I'll see him, I'll still slip it in there somehow. That's the price he must pay. That's the price he must pay for opening his mouth before he gets there. So both me and Jay picked the Patriots, and Jay picks the Cardinals, and I'm picking the Panthers.
No, I picked the Panthers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Your heart was with the Cardinals.
Yes,
All right,
my
we
heart's
got
with
the
the
same picks this week.
Yeah, same picks.
Okay. Woohoo! All righty.
See if I can break my.
Well, if things go the way they have for you, it's going to be a
Yes.
Cardinals-Broncos Super Bowl.
Yes.
Cardinals-Broncos Super Bowl.
Yes.
That would be interesting. It's probably the
much.
one really nobody's thinking
I did
of.
have one win. I had Arizona last week, but so
Oh, there you go.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah, as long as the Patriots won, I don't mind getting that wrong. I'll go 50-50 this week on that. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Go watch the championship games. We'll be back next week to go over the whole 2 games, maybe have another top 10 installed for everybody to do, and then it'll be Super Bowl time. And probably in that week leading up to the Super Bowl, we'll talk about coaches moving here, there, and everywhere else, get the scorecard down of who's where.
And we'll hopefully by then have the trophy presentation for Bob's picking win. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My team can't
It's
make
coming.
the playoffs, but at least I can do this. All right, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Watch some good football. Where's that? Where's the button? Bye.
bye.
From Homebrew Studios, this has been Bob and Jay's Pro Football Podcast, brought to you by Bob and John's Super Duper Variety Power Hour.